All right. Well, here we are, Wesley. We're in the middle of it right now. In the middle of the of your what I think you said is like your Christmas, your football Christmas.
Oh yeah, no. This is like in order. It's Easter because obviously that's the biggest holiday for all of us,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Resurrection.
Christmas, Resurrection Sunday, and then you got Christmas, the birth, and presents. Who doesn't love presents? And then it's the NFL draft
All right, so it's third.
in
It's
those
the
orders.
NFL draft takes third. So today we're going to be talking. We're taking a little bit of a detour from our regularly scheduled conversation. Of course, that's kind of what bearded banter is, right? It's kind of whatever we're fancying. And
Everything and anything.
we thought, you know what? Let's do a quick chat on what we're thinking about the draft and invite our many followers to chime in. Let us know what you're thinking about your team and your drafting, or if you don't even care about the draft and you just watch for the Super Bowl commercials, whichever it is. But
Yeah,
I gotta
absolutely.
say, I'm surprised by what the Buffalo Bills are doing this year.
I'm surprised at a lot of things. At a
Yeah.
lot of things. So,
How about Shador Sanders not
not
being
surprised.
picked yet? Not
I'm
surprised?
not surprised. No, not at all. I'm not
What?
surprised by that.
Oh gosh, we might get some hate on this as a
I am
result.
definitely going to catch some flack on it. I don't think that the kid is untalented. I think the kid does have the potential to be that guy, but I think it's because of where he played and who coached him that has turned away a
Oh,
lot of
oh,
NFL teams.
Wesley.
I'm just saying because Colorado, not a high. They what they did with Prime and what they've been doing, it's awesome. But they weren't in anything school before that, as far as like the college football realm is considered. And what are they going to be afterwards? They lost Travis Hunter,
You want to say hi? I'm
and
recording.
Hi.
Hey, Tara wants to
hey,
get in on the draft night. All right, I don't have any more. I'll help you with that. I'll help you. I'm talking about the draft with Wesley. All our followers are going to wonder why doesn't Tara want to meet them?
screen shy.
She's a little screen shy. She's
When when this blows up and we're beating Joe Rogan in a year and a half here, people are going to remember that as the moment.
Tara's debut.
No, but I have heard that because Deion Sanders was coaching his son at Colorado, NFL teams have kind of taken the stance of was Sanders good with Colorado and Jackson State because of his father catering to his son's play style and needs, which I mean every coach does that, so that's nothing new. But for some reason they seem to think that this is going to be an unusual situation for Shador Sanders.
Mm.
I was surprised that he didn't make it out of round one, but now I'm not surprised at all that no one's even chasing him. I'm not surprised about that at all.
Yeah,
I was surprised that the Saints didn't take him. I was really surprised that the Steelers didn't take him at 21.
I that surprised me because I felt like
Yeah.
they've got talent in Rogers. Rogers is there now, right?
No, he hasn't officially signed anywhere.
Oh, I thought he was there now officially.
No,
Okay,
no, he's even debated retiring.
so
He's even said I might.
they don't have
They don't
anybody.
have. They have Duck Rogers. I can't think of his name. Mason Rudolph. Mason Rudolph. That's who's on the roster right now.
Okay, so they need a quarterback.
They
I mean,
desperately needed a
no
quarterback.
shade on Mr. Rudolph, but they need
No.
somebody to help out there.
Well, he got cut and brought back for once or twice. So
Yeah. Well, you watch. I'll bet that Shador Sanders goes in the league and becomes like a hit.
he'll be the
Right?
next Aaron Rodgers.
Right. And that'll be the story. It'll be the story.
Yeah.
Overlooked. Everybody thought it was my dad. Here I am, and I'm winning the Super Bowl. You know what?
Yeah. And
Maybe
I could
that's just
totally see that being the thing. I could
yeah.
totally see that being the case.
That's the
But
trap though,
now I
is
don't
it
know what
could go
team.
one way or the other, right?
Right. And I don't know what team at this point is going to take Shador because the only team that seriously needs a quarterback at this current moment that I can think of the top of my head is the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think they're waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision. Am I going to sign with you guys or am I going to retire?
Right.
So I
Right.
think they're kind of waiting on that. But I mean, the Saints, they took their guy. They took their guy a couple picks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Shroud, something like it was a
That was
really
the first round.
wild pick.
Yeah,
No,
because
that they picked him in the second round.
Shao, Tyler Shao from
Tyler
Louisville.
Shaw, yes, yes. Yeah, because with their first pick at 9, the Saints took the guy that I wanted in Houston and Calvin Banks Jr. So,
Oh,
thanks a lot, New Orleans. Really appreciate you for doing that, you
mm.
bums.
I saw some comparison work between Shao, however you say his name, Tyler Shao, and Shador, and it was basically like
Night and
Shao's
day. Yeah.
25 years old, and not good under pressure. Which 25 is still young. Let's say it, but it's for a college player. He's been in college a while. He's learned the game. He learned the college game, so he's going to have a better handle.
You
Not
would
sure.
expect, you'd hope that he's kind of taken that step in the maturity and
Yeah.
leadership and having the intangibles a little bit more down. The same thing was said about Bo Nix last year. Bo Nix was the quarterback that went to the Denver Broncos. He's still my dark horse to be the best quarterback
Hmm.
out of that draft class. I think he's going to light it up, and I think he went to the right head coach in Sean Payton. I think Bo Nix is going to end up being better than Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels. You heard it here first.
You heard it. Bearded Banter called it out. And we're also calling Shador Sanders to go late in the draft, if at all, and then win a Super Bowl.
I think well, I'm not going to call the Super Bowl part. I think he will go by the end of tonight.
You think?
At this point, I don't know where. I don't know who is going to take him. Maybe the Saints still take him. Maybe the Steelers still take him.
What if he
Hmm,
goes to KC? And
no.
what if he goes to KC, plays behind Mahomes for a couple years, and becomes the Sith Lord? He trains under the Sith Lord and becomes the next emperor of the NFL.
Then who's Luke Skywalker? Because, I mean, in
Josh
that
Allen.
scenario,
Josh Allen.
I was going to hope
Listen,
you
the
say CJ
chronology
Stroud,
doesn't
but you
work out,
know.
but I know who
I wouldn't
Yoda
like
is.
that.
Yoda is about to retire in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
Oh,
no, you ain't kidding.
all right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's clearly a lot going on. I've got some disappointments about what the Bills are doing. I'm also kind of excited about what they're doing. But you tell tell me, what are you thinking about Houston? Houston did some stuff in the first round that you didn't like.
Yes, so I made a Facebook post about it yesterday,
Oh,
and
you went public with your
I did.
defamation.
I said in quote, as a Houston Texans fan, I am genuinely disappointed because we had the number 25 pick, and instead of taking Josh Connerly Jr., who was there, guard out of Oregon, we traded out with the New York Giants, and we got their second round this year, their third this year, and a
Mm-hmm.
third next year. And the
Yep.
Giants traded in for the first, and they picked Jackson Dart. I was initially disappointed with it because Josh Connerly, Houston needs an O line. There's no way around it. Houston needs an O line. CJ Stroud was the second most sacked quarterback in the league last year, and we all know what he can do when he is not under pressure.
You
Look
got
at
to
his rookie
protect him.
season.
Got to
You
protect
got to
him.
protect him. And in the NFL in general, if you do not have a offensive line or a defensive line, it does not matter how good your team is. Go look at the Super Bowl. What did they do to Mahomes? They just mauled him with that front four. I mean, you can look at the statistics. The Eagles did not blitz a single time in the Super Bowl. That is the craziest thing in the world that they blew him out by that much with no blitzing.
Crazy.
You win in the trenches. You win in the trenches. And Josh Connerly, I felt like was a great prospect for Houston's offensive line to help rebuild it. But listening to what Nick Casario, our GM, has said, they don't pick players for need. They pick players of character
Mm.
because they have a very decent set core of players among the team on both sides of the ball. Defense more than the offensive side. So you need that anchor on your offensive side, especially in the offensive line.
Hmm.
But they have a lot of good pieces there. Cam Robinson, we'll see what he is. Trent Brown, he's a swing tackle. He's going to be filling in on third downs and stuff like that. But he's a veteran presence who's going to bring that leadership.
Hmm.
We brought in Lakeland Thompson. That's a depth player. We still got Titus Howard, Juice Scruggs, Jared Patterson, and on the right side in the center. So I was hoping that they were going to take a guard, bring some young blood into there, and bolster the offensive line. But Nick Caserio has hit very, very well on his second and third round picks, almost routinely. Kamari Lassiter, Kalen Bullock, Cade Stover, uh, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. Like his late round picks have always hit. Nico Collins was a fourth rounder. No one even knew who Nico Collins was. And now
Hmm.
Nico Collins is one of the top 5 wide receivers in the game.
So what I hear
So,
you doing is reminding yourself to have faith in your GM, have faith in your coaching staff. They've
yes.
they've they've done great things in the past. They can pull it off. So rest in that.
Yes.
Go back to your Facebook post and type in there, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better today. Just let's bear with it. Trust the process.
So actually, our friend Sean, he posted on there. He's like, "Hey, thanks for the pick," because he's a Giants fan. Sean, shout out if you've made it this far. Comment below how happy you are to have Jackson Dart. Appreciate you, bud. And
Solid.
he asked if it was something along the lines of like, "Are you okay with this or whatever?" And I told him that exact thing. I'm like, "I've had time to sit and think about it, and I'm feeling a lot better about it now than I initially was."
Yeah.
And I think that happens to all of us NFL fans. We want them to pick the shiny new toy that is up on top of the draft boards, but that's not always the best or right pick for your team.
Right. And
And
we don't
that's
know what our you you don't know as a fan what the long-term strategy is for the flexibility of the offense and defense and special teams. They're working on a plan that goes far into the future, hopefully, right? So you don't
yeah,
know they might be picking somebody who complements a way of play, a defensive strategy that you don't even know yet. You don't even know that they're going to be
right.
doing it yet. Nobody knows it because they want it to be a surprise. They want to catch the other players. They want to catch the other teams with something new that they've never done before. So they
Hmm.
get these, they wait, it's like fly fishing. You just nobody knows you're there. You just keep whipping that fly over top of the water. All of a sudden you got one. Nobody knew it. I don't know where that metaphor came from, but there it was, fly fishing.
Tom Brady, 199, six rounder, the
Right.
GOAT.
Right. You never know. So I you meant you said something about, drafting character, and that's part of what my tension was with the Bills first round pick in Maxwell Hairston, because he's got a bit of a history. I had a little bit of a hint of it coming in. I listened to a couple different podcasts. He's in the top, great player, physical.
Yeah,
He's got all the athletic
fastest guy in the
ability.
draft.
Yeah, it's quick. He's going to be able to close on the ball. He doesn't get freaked out if he gets behind a little bit. He can chase people down. He's going to be able to keep up with the fastest guys in the league and set the pace. No doubt, no doubt. The concern was and is he's got some he's got some mud in his shoes from his behavior early on in college. And so and I think it's public knowledge he had some sort of sexual misconduct allegations against him. And the question is always is, what does a team do in that situation when you're not quite sure what a player is going to do once they hit the big league, right? Like once you put a few million in somebody's pocket, what is that going to do to their character? Somebody with the purest of pure history could go off the deep end. You don't know. So that's part of my tension is like, don't judge a book by the cover. Give everybody the same grace that you would give somebody you care about. At the same time, surround that person with some people that can really be the mentors in the pro setting. And I think for Maxwell Hairston, he's got some people in that locker room that can be helpful. Hopefully, he comes in with that energy we saw on night one. He had some great responses in video. He's bringing heat. He's already talking about like I want to win the Super Bowl. Okay, great. Buffalo's got everything they need, just missing a few pieces. Whatever direction you want to take that with Bills Mafia, go for it. Either way, I think it's a good pick because there's three spots the Bills really need to flourish in this draft. CB, which they got now, round one, defensive tackle, and edge rusher. My my problem with the second round pick now, my confusion is I don't know who Sanders is, which is just to my ignorance, but he's definitely not the DT, the big, heavy nose guard, nose tackle that's going to stuff people on that front line. He's not going to get double teamed. He's going to be fast. He's got a lot of skills from what I understand, but not the guy I was looking for. Not the guy I hadn't heard his name on any of the projections for the Bills draft picks. So little concerned about that. But again, going back to what we were saying a minute ago, I don't know what Sean McDermott's got planned. I don't know. Brandon Beans had just as great a career in the draft. All you got to do is point to Josh Allen and go, okay, everybody thought he was a moron for picking Josh Allen.
Yeah. Oh
Everybody
man,
ate
I
crow
remember.
over that. Yeah.
I remember. I was one of them. I
Right.
was one of them.
And it
Like
was a
this kid
big
from
question.
Wyoming?
Yeah.
Wyoming? Who's Wyoming?
Right. And it was like, his accuracy's not great. Is he going to be able to learn the pro ball? Is he going to be able to refine his game? And lo and behold, thanks to Dayball first year with him and some other coaches that really made him shine and years come on. And he's great. Well, I'm trusting the same thing you are, that the coaches, the GM that have done it in the past will do it again and they'll make some great picks. I was personally hoping for some stronger inside defensive tackle because I think we just get chewed up late in the season. On the defense just can't keep others from scoring. Offense not the problem. We can score. We have the well. It would be great to have a big fast wide receiver. I wouldn't complain about that. A number one receiver that is like a superstar. That'd be cool. But we've had them, and I don't know that we absolutely need them. You put a bunch of resources around Josh Allen, and you can win the game scoring points in 7, 8, 9 different directions. What we need is a strong, fast, powerful edge rusher and defensive tackle to stop that offense on the other side of the ball. So I was just a little bit like, oh, come on, let's go after somebody else who's got, and I'm not great with the names. Others are better, Wes, but I was hoping that it would be something a little bit more powerful in the second round. We'll see where it goes. They had to trade up for this second round pick. I think they lost their third round pick. Oh no, Kansas City. They didn't do it. Omar Norman Lott they took from Tennessee. Defense tackles. Come on, folks. You know who I was hoping we would get? Where is he? Donovan Ezeraku. Have you heard of this guy? Donovan Ezeraku from Boston College. He went to Dallas.
Oh, he went to Dallas? That's gross.
He went to Dallas. 3 picks after us. Now, this dude's a stud. This is somebody that I actually paid attention to, and I was hoping for him because he's just a stud. And we didn't get him. So I'm trusting the process. All right, Sean McDermott, if you're listening, I'm trusting the process.
And he's a little tied. I'm gonna say he's a little tied up at the moment, but I hope he comes across it. Yeah.
We'll talk.
Yeah, for sure. Well, something that was sticking out to me was talking about the characters of these players. I don't remember who it was because I listened to for like the past 2 weeks. I've listened to Locked On Texans. I've listened to Locked On NFL. I've watched almost every single ESPN, FS1, like whatever NFL draft segments I can. I've been watching Nick Wright, everyone's favorite Kansas City fan. I've been watching all of it. So that's where like a lot of this has just been soaking in for me. Or like I was texting him like, hey, the Jets are going to take a Memembu. And you're like, huh?
Wes was
for like 4 picks in a row.
You're calling the I was like, how does he know? Is there some kind of secret website that I don't know about that tells everybody who's being picked ahead of time? Because you're literally calling them before for I think the first 5.
It's being a nerd.
Yeah, it must have been it. You had like a
Yeah.
streak of 5 going, I think, before you missed one, maybe
Yeah.
even more. I don't know.
But in one of those podcasts throughout this couple of weeks, I heard one of the head coaches, I can't remember what team they were from, but they were talking about how being a coach is more than coaching football. You're coaching these young guys to be young men.
Yeah,
That's the other half of the battle. That's what makes a locker room good and goes from good to great is not only are you coaching a good football team, but you're coaching character men. These
yeah,
guys who are examples for their communities, for their peers, for their kids, for their teammates, for everybody.
yeah,
It's not just how good can you be on the football field. It's how good are you in your heart? How good are you mentally? How stable can you make yourself?
yeah.
And that's
Which,
so important with coaching.
yeah, and honestly, I hear that. I've heard that from a number of different coaches. I think part of it is it's what you say. Part of it is just it's what you say as a coach when you're in front of the press. Um, and but you can tell the difference between over time the way players talk about coaches it, across the league or don't talk about coaches across the league. There's a sentiment, there's a disposition amongst players towards coaches that say that and mean it. I would say this though, and one of the things I love about football is that idea that there's this clear mentorship opportunity. There's a clear progression that we can watch, at least through the lens that they give us. But I wish, and this is off a tangent away, but I wish we all had that perspective, right? Like as we're working side by side with people, why is it that we look at football or sports in general and go, they're raising the next generation. I hope they're really focused on the hearts of those people or win and build the character at the same time. And then we go to work on Monday and it's like, yeah, screw you, buddy. Yeah, I don't care, whatever, and I'm just speaking for myself. There's times when I abdicate the role and honor it and reverence it in other people and say like, yeah, that's what I want my coach to be like for the Bills. And then I don't think twice about it when I'm walking through the grocery store line and there's some 19-year-old checking me out, my groceries that is, and making sure that things get done right. I'm not thinking about like, oh, how can I encourage this individual? How can I encourage this young person to be the best version of themselves they can be in each of these other moments? So I think one of the just as we're talking, one of the challenges is I kind of distill the things you want out of your coaches, out of your team, into practical behaviors that you can demonstrate in your own life, right? Bring the Texans into your heart and carry them with you into your life.
I'm gonna bring that swarm mentality, and I might get kicked out of church on Sunday. That's all I'm saying. You guys might not want me back after that. Just Wes is coming in with that swarm mentality. I'm just gonna say Jeremiah told me to bring the Texans to my heart
Right.
and out and project it outward. So now I'm Will Anderson Jr. and I'm coming for all of you.
Like, wait, isn't it supposed to be Jesus in your heart, not the Texans? Jeremiah, he's got it all wrong. Well,
And
hey, I'm looking forward to hearing what the rest of this draft has for us. Maybe we can do another one. Looks like round 2 has just wrapped up with the Eagles taking Andrew. I'm gonna jack up his name, Makuba. Makuba. Is that how you say that? Makuba.
round two, Makuba. Yep,
Makuba.
safety from Tech. Why do we continue to let Howie Roseman pick cornerbacks and safeties in the draft? Can we collectively, as a society, just stop that?
I
I mean,
can't
that guy
believe
was a
the Chiefs didn't get another offensive lineman. They need as many offensive linemen as they can get.
no, 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 no. They need all defensive players. They don't need a single offensive anything. Let them go defense.
Yeah, right. I hear
Let
you.
them go
I hear you.
defense. Let them go
Listen,
defense.
Patrick Mahomes is like, please get more offensive linemen. I need bigger people up in front of me. I'm getting too
He
old
might
for
be a
this.
player that goes on a revenge tour next season. I would not be surprised to see Patrick Mahomes go on a tear because
Yeah,
he's sick and tired of hearing this narrative that his team's vulnerable. Because we all know that that's going to be the narrative this year. Is they just lost the Super Bowl, they were vulnerable, it happened,
right.
and you see the trend that's going in the AFC. It's mostly trench guys.
Yeah.
They're drafting defensive players.
Yeah.
The AFC is going to come after them, and I am here for it.
Let's
Let's
go.
let's make them miss the playoffs entirely.
That's
Let's
exactly
no
what's going to
longer make
happen.
the AFC.
People are
I
going to
hope so.
punish that front line. And I wonder how they're going to respond in the beginning of the year.
It's going to
Oh,
be tough. It's going to be rough. Their division got a lot tougher this year. Their division, if you think about their division, they're in the AFC West. They have the LA Chargers, they have the Denver Broncos, and they have the LA Raiders. You have
mm,
four Hall of Fame Super Bowl winning head coaches in that division. Andy Reid is coming up to be the second greatest NFL coach of all time, maybe third, depending on where you put certain people. But then you got Jim Harbaugh. He won it with the Niners. You've got Sean
mhm.
Payton. He won it with the Saints. And
Yep.
not only did they win it, they had sustained success. They had great careers. Jim Harbaugh has won everywhere he's gone.
Yeah.
Sean Payton had a great team for a very long time. Pete Carroll won the Super Bowl with the Seahawks and had a great team for a very long time. That division is going to get rough for them.
Yeah.
Very rough.
Yeah.
Ashton
Com
Genty is in that division now, and that's going to be scary.
the rest of that division was tired of getting beat up every year. Just like,
I don't blame him.
let's
I don't
go.
blame him.
Let's figure it out. All right.
You and
So
me personally.
we're looking forward. I think that the new schedule is dropping on May. I heard last night, May 15th. Is that what it
May
said?
15th
Yeah.
is the
So we'll
schedule
know what
drop.
the schedule is going to be in a
Yep.
couple of weeks. Maybe we'll do after the draft's all done. Maybe we'll do it and then the schedule drops. We can do like a full football take. What are we thinking for the year? But
Looking
between
forward
now and
to the
then,
big matchups.
yes, especially
Big matchups.
yeah, especially Bills Chiefs. Bills
Bills
Chiefs.
Chiefs, Bills Texans.
Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of tough
Chiefs and
games.
Eagles are going to be replaying.
Fun
And
stuff.
then I also saw today that there is going to be a new uniform release for every team as well. They're kind of doing like the NBA has the city uniforms, the alternative city uniforms.
Okay.
They're some of them are really cool, some of them are goofy, but apparently the NFL is going to adapt something similar to that in the NFL, which is going to be kind of cool to see.
City
I'm always down for a
uniforms.
new uniform.
Like a
Yeah.
unique design for like that represents the city.
Yep. Yep.
Huh. Huh.
It'll be
We'll
cool. It's
see.
going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what Buffalo's
It's a giant chicken wing.
giant chicken wing.
Orange, orange, and it's a chicken wing.
Yeah, like graffiti, like a table in flames with a beer falling through it or something like that. I don't know.
Or in realistic thinking, maybe like a backdrop of the city, like an outline of the city buildings with Niagara Falls towards the back.
Maybe.
There's an idea.
Yeah, yeah.
That's an
So you
idea.
could go a lot of different ways with Houston. There's so much culture. So, maybe,
Uh,
oh, maybe,
I absolutely love the battle red, just red on red uniforms from last year.
yeah,
Just
those are
the
cool.
bright red with just the horn is wow, it's
Yeah,
so awesome.
those are
I'm
cool.
a big colors guy.
I like color rush stuff. I like solids
Yeah,
on solids. Yeah. All right,
yeah.
man. Well, let's sign off here. I'm looking forward to round three. I'm gonna be out of pocket for the next week, going away celebrating my 25th anniversary with the wife. So
Woo!
we'll have to
The
catch up.
mystery wife.
The wife who may or may not exist. Yeah.
She exists, but she will not reveal who she is.
Right. Definitely not on camera. Definitely not. All right, man.
But
Well,
yes, this has been a fun episode.
it has
I
been.
look
I'm
forward
looking
to the
forward
next
to
one.
the next episode and the next round of the draft.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll get a DT. A DT. All
Hopefully you
right.
get a DT. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, please leave a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below. We'll leave a link to the ESPN draft tracker for you on the comment section or in the description below. And we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Mm-hmm.
Later,
Sayonara.
Battle Red Nation.
Go Bills.